Imagine being treated like trash by a restaurant manager. Your change thrown at you with no respect, just because of the color of your skin. But what if I told you the man he humiliated was actually the new owner of the restaurant? Stay tuned to find out how this disrespectful moment completely turned around. You won't believe what happened next. If you're part of the Black Visionaries family, hit that like button right now and subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories like this one. It was supposed to be a regular lunch break for Alex Johnson, a well-established businessman in his mid-30s who had a reputation for keeping a low profile despite his success. Alex owned a growing tech firm and had recently decided to expand his portfolio, investing in a series of local businesses. One of the businesses was a small, family-owned restaurant located in the heart of the city, a place he'd visited before. He wasn't planning on making a big deal about it. He simply needed a quiet meal to recharge.
But today, things would take a surprising turn. Alex walked into the restaurant, greeted by the familiar scent of freshly cooked meals and the warm chatter of regular customers. The atmosphere was cozy, nothing extravagant, and it had a welcoming vibe. It was the kind of place where people knew each other, where the staff was friendly and the food was comforting.
Alex had come here a few times, always finding it to be a decent spot for a quick lunch. Nothing stood out about the restaurant until today. He made his way to a small table by the window, scanning the room. The restaurant seemed busier than usual, and the staff appeared a bit frazzled. The manager, a man in his 40s with a stern demeanor and sharp eyes, seemed particularly on edge, barking out orders and overseeing the rush. Alex noticed the tension in the air, but he wasn't concerned. He was simply there to enjoy his meal. After placing his order, Alex settled into his seat, lost in thought. His mind wandered to business matters, expanding his company, managing his investments, and how he could continue to grow. He didn't pay much attention to the noise around him until his food arrived. It was a standard meal, a sandwich with fries. Nothing special, but exactly what he needed for the moment. Once he finished eating, he called the waiter over and handed over his payment. The waiter was polite as always, but when Alex received his change from the manager, things took a sudden and uncomfortable turn. The manager, who had been distracted with another task, handed Alex his change without a second thought. The way he did it was striking. Instead of handing the change over carefully or with any politeness, the manager almost tossed the coins onto the table, treating them like they were nothing more than discarded pieces of trash. He didn't even look at Alex. The disrespect was palpable. Alex could feel the sting of the manager's actions immediately. The dismissive, careless way the change was given, without even the courtesy of eye contact or a thank you, was beyond disrespectful. For a moment, Alex simply sat there, staring at the coins on the table. He could feel his heart rate rise. This wasn't just bad customer service, it felt personal. The manager's attitude suggested that Alex didn't matter, that he was just another nameless face who didn't deserve to be treated with respect. It was humiliating, but what made it worse was the fact that the manager didn't seem to care at all. Alex wasn't the type to make a scene, and he certainly wasn't going to cause trouble over a small issue like this. But it was a matter of principle. He had worked hard to get where he was, and he had built his career from the ground up. For someone to treat him like that, for no reason other than his appearance or the way he carried himself, was infuriating. He quickly paid the bill and left the restaurant, feeling a mix of anger and confusion.
As Alex drove away, he couldn't shake the feeling that something needed to be done. He wasn't about to let this go unnoticed. He decided then and there that he would return. But this time, he wouldn't be the man who just ordered lunch. He would be the man who owned the restaurant, and he would make sure the manager knew exactly who he had just disrespected.
The next day, Alex returned to the restaurant. He walked in with the same calm demeanor, his face betraying none of the thoughts racing through his mind. He wasn't there to eat. He wasn't there to eat. He wasn't there for anything routine. He was there to make a point. The restaurant was bustling as usual. The manager was behind the counter, organizing the staff, looking frazzled as orders piled up. Alex took a deep breath and approached the counter. The manager didn't notice him at first, but as Alex stepped closer, the manager looked up. Their eyes met for a brief second, and Alex could see the slight flicker of recognition, but it quickly passed. The manager didn't know who Alex was. He just saw a customer. "Can I help you?" The manager asked, his voice clipped but professional. He was still caught up in the chaos of the lunch rush. Alex smiled, but it wasn't a warm smile. It was deliberate. He stepped closer to the counter and said, "I think you can. You see, yesterday I had lunch here. You handed me my change, and I have to say, I didn't appreciate how you treated me." The manager blinked, his brow furrowing as he tried to place Alex. "I'm sorry if you were dissatisfied with your experience. We do our best to serve everyone quickly." Alex didn't let him off the hook that easily. "No, it's not about the speed. It's about how you treated me when I paid my bill. You tossed my change onto the table like it was nothing, like I didn't matter. That's not the kind of service I expect, especially when I'm paying for a meal." The manager's expression softened slightly. "Look, I apologize if I upset you. It wasn't intentional. We've just been really busy." Alex cut him off, his voice unwavering. "It wasn't about being busy. It was about respect. You didn't show me any. And for a paying customer, that's unacceptable." The manager shifted nervously, glancing around as if unsure how to handle the situation. Alex wasn't the kind of person who made a scene, but the manager could tell that this wasn't a simple complaint. He could feel the weight of the situation, even though he didn't yet understand how serious it was. "I think you should know something," Alex continued. "I'm not just another customer. I'm the new owner of this restaurant." The manager froze. His eyes widened as the realization hit him. Alex watched as the color drained from the manager's face. The harsh reality of the situation set in. He had just disrespected the very person who now owned the establishment. The man he had treated like trash was, in fact, his boss. Alex pulled out his phone and showed the manager a message confirming his ownership of the restaurant. The manager's face was a mixture of shock and embarrassment. He stammered, clearly flustered. I didn't know. I had no idea. I'm sorry." Alex didn't let him off easily. "It's not just about me," he said. "It's about the way you treat every customer who comes through that door. You can't run a business like this if you don't treat people with respect, and I won't tolerate this kind of behavior." The manager, now visibly shaken, apologized repeatedly. He tried to explain that it wasn't meant to be disrespectful, but Alex could see the damage had already been done. This wasn't just a simple mistake. It was a sign of deeper issues with how the restaurant had been run. Alex gave him a choice. He could resign or continue working, but things needed to change. The manager, his pride now in tatters, agreed to resign. It wasn't long before Alex took over the management himself, implementing new policies, focusing on customer service, and creating an environment where respect was the cornerstone. In the months that followed, the restaurant underwent a transformation. Customers noticed the difference. The staff was more attentive, the atmosphere was more welcoming, and Alex personally ensured that everyone, from the kitchen to the front of the house, understood the importance of treating people with dignity. The restaurant became a hit, attracting more customers and building a loyal following. As for the manager, he learned the hard way that disrespecting someone, even in small ways, could cost you everything. The simple act of tossing someone's change onto a table, of treating them as insignificant, had led to his downfall. But for Alex, it was a reminder that respect was the foundation of any successful business. And he wasn't going to let anyone forget it. Thanks for watching. If you were as shocked as I was, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more unbelievable stories like this. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Until next time, stay aware and stay tuned.